Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Welcome back, tokers, tokettes, and non-toking lovers of liberty out there. I'm Radical Russ. Left Wing Larry's made his way down into the studio as well. We're hanging out here at Rolla J, where it's a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny summer July day out there in Potland. That's why I'm down here, man. It's hot down here. I can't imagine how hot it is upstairs.
The upstairs is about 90 degrees.
Just, yeah, uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. A couple of notes here, real quick, programming notes. I want to make sure we're all caught up on this. Tomorrow morning, I just got this announcement. Tomorrow morning, 9:30. Actually, it's 9:45, but I'm going to start my coverage at 9:30. Tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., the great debate is on for marijuana legalization. In this corner, the returning champion, the former Libertarian candidate for the vice presidency of the United States, Judge Jim Gray. Judge Jim Gray, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks. He's already knocking people out. Go, Jim! All right, and in this corner, the challenger from Smart Approaches to Marijuana, Oxford-trained Kevin Sabet, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Sabet. They are debating tomorrow.
They are debating tomorrow?
They're debating tomorrow.
Oh,
online.
Sabet is
live.
going down.
And I'm going to bring you the screen capture of it tomorrow morning here on 420 Radio. So tune in. We are going to live watch and comment on Judge Jim Gray versus Kevin Sabet debating live on marijuana legalization.
All right.
Yay, we're going to have so much fun. So also, as far as the programming announcements, we got a live show tomorrow. It's Wednesday. Thursday, we will not have a live show because I will be in an airplane on my way to Florida. Heading down for Saturday, once again, is Florida Meet the Experts. Bobby Platshorn's putting on another conference, and I'll be there. Neil Franklin will be there. Mike Booten will be there. Of course, Bobby Tuna himself, Robert Platshorn will be there, and others. You can check out, FloridaMarijuanaConference.com, I believe is the website if you want to learn more about it. I'm not presenting or anything. I'm just covering it. So I'll be bringing you video for that next week. But on Friday, we'll do a live show from Miami Springs, like I've done before.
All right.
So we'll do an East Coast show. Next week on the show, we'll have a live show. Or actually, Monday, we will not have a live show. What I'm going to be doing Monday is showing you the film, or the video. We don't have film. I'll be showing you the video from the Meet the Experts conference.
Okay.
So we'll show you a few of the speeches and interviews that I do. Tuesday, also no live show because I'll be once again on an airplane flying back. Wednesday, there will be a live show because I don't have to go to court in Utah. That was my court date in Utah, was Wednesday.
All right.
July 23rd. So I won't be going. There'll be a live show.
Dismissed.
Case dismissed. So that'll be live on Wednesday. We'll be live on Thursday, and we'll be live on Friday as well. So Friday, though, we'll be live from Flint, Michigan, because late Thursday night, like my plane leaves at 11:20 p.m., late Thursday night, I'm flying out to Flint, Michigan for my first Cannabis Cup in Michigan and my first marijuana event in Michigan that I've ever done. I've been to Michigan before. I've been to Detroit for work back in the 90s, but I've never done a marijuana event in Michigan. So all our Michiganders and Yoopers, yeah, Yoopers, don't you know? Get down there. Get down there to the Cannabis Cup, eh? You want to go see the Cannabis Cup there? Come down from the peninsula and come down to the Mitten and go see the Cannabis Cup, eh? So, yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing our Michigander friends and folks from the Midwest there at the High Times Cannabis Cup, July 25th and 26th. And once again, we'll bring you video from that in the following week because, again, on Monday, basically there won't be live shows on Monday for the next couple of weeks. They'll be flying back again. So we'll have some videos from the Cannabis Cup for you then. So that's the rest of July. If you were curious about what our schedule would be, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll get more into depth on the subject of the day, which is, as always, marijuana legalization.
Jive, Mary, Grifo,
and
grass,
Mary,
hay.
Grifo, grass, and hay.
Technically, it's cannabis sativa, the common name, marijuana. She has found a crutch to see her through her difficulties instead of facing up to them and coping with them. And in time, she may be ready to try something different, something better.
Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
420 Radio, freeing your mind 24 hours a day.
Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz thinks it's okay for medical marijuana patients to go to federal prison. On May 30th, she voted against an amendment that would respect Florida's new laws and protect Florida's patients. Even though 88% of Florida voters support medical marijuana, why would Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz vote to send patients like this to prison? Is Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz out of touch with Florida?
Weeducated Talk Radio, replaying Mondays at 10 Pacific on 4.
I don't use marijuana, but as a teacher of 36 years, I can tell you lots of other people use it. I don't believe in prohibition. I don't think it works. Prohibiting it hasn't stopped anybody from getting a hold of it. I would like to see it regulated so that maybe kids can't get a hold of it so easily. I know they get a hold of it now very easily. I support a new approach to marijuana. I support legalizing it. It's with us. It's not going to go away. And if we can get money through the taxation, we can also educate our kids about it. That's why I support it.
Have you ever pondered the movement of a star, a planet or a galaxy up in the night sky?
Welcome back. That's music from Terra Lumina, Shifting Light. It's one of our science tracks that we play on Electric Tuesdays, excuse me. It is Tuesday, right? Electric Tuesday. And you can catch Electric Tuesday music at the tail end of every replay hour running from 9 to 3 Pacific time. We play replay podcasts from 24 different podcasters all across the country and a couple European podcasters. Their shows run from about 15 after to about 45 after. Sometimes they come on a little early. Actually, it's probably closer to 8 after to 45 after. And then from 45 after, we play music, and every day we have a different genre for you. It's our daily Toker Tunes. You can learn more about it at 420radio.org. All right, speaking of daily Toker Tunes, we've got an Electric Tuesday tune coming up at 20 after. We do our 20 after breaks now, and we'll have Electric Bob calling in for that tune. Today's tune from the electronic genre, we have No Such Thing with Eclipse. So that'll be our tune for the day. Actually, it's a video that we'll be watching, so looking forward to that. And a new feature of our programming here at 420 Radio. I mentioned those daily Toker tunes that you're going to hear at the end of every hour, right? Mm-hmm. The first one that you'll hear will be the most recent daily Toker tune from Toker Talk Radio. So if you liked the tune that you heard and you missed it, you want to hear it again or something, just wait to the end of a podcast hour and it'll be the first tune you hear. It'll come on around 48 after the hour or so. There we go. Some consistency, some standards.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got Left Wing Larry in the studio. What's happening, Larry? How's the grow?
Oh, the grow's going great. I mean, they are really, really looking good. They're in flower now, and they're about, almost 6 foot tall. Mm-hmm. I had to raise the lights as high as I could get them to make sure they didn't burn, you know. Mm-hmm. And, the grow is looking great this time. And I've got a new thing. I just received a bag of soil today from an outfit called
North County Bounty.
North County Bounty.
Sonoma County, California.
Sonoma County.
Okay.
I met them down at the Cannabis Cup, and they sent me it's a regular sized bag of soil, and I'm going to make one grow in their soil only, and then, just kind of see how it does.
Cool. And what the shipping cost is on a bag of soil?
I have no idea.
What if it costs more than the bag of soil itself?
I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to break into the market in Portland.
Sure.
And, get their soil up here with some distributors. And so they sent me a free bag and a T-shirt.
Well, there we go. Like I said, the fringe benefits are awesome.
Yes.
We are always looking for sponsors here on 420 Radio. And you may notice we've got a couple of new sponsors up there. So big thanks to them. And thanks to the new sponsorships. Tie Stick Vape Pens. But thanks to the new sponsorships, I get to announce something really, really cool. Originally, this was going to be a problem. September 14th, 15th is the weekend of the International Cannabis Business Conference. Okay. Now, originally, the problem was that the International Cannabis Business Conference was scheduled for the same weekend as Portland Hempstock. Mm-hmm. But Portland Hempstock got in a fight with the city, didn't get their Kelly Point Park, and fought it to the point where they could get the waterfront park back where they originally started. But it's going to be like on the 28th, 29th, like the end of the month.
So it'll be the next weekend.
Like 2 weekends away.
Oh, 2 weekends away.
And so that was good for me because I'm like, oh, well, cool. Now I can do the conference on this weekend and then do the Hempstock on that weekend.
Oh, great.
But then a new problem cropped up, and that was, second weekend in September is Boston Freedom Rally.
Uh-oh.
Out on the Boston Common in Massachusetts, and I really wanted to go to Boston Freedom Rally. And it's the first Freedom Rally since King of Pot died last year. And really wanted to go to that. Won't be able to go to it because I'm at the International Cannabis Business Conference. But thanks to our new sponsors, we're sending Herb Thrasher
all right
to the Boston Freedom Rally. Yeah.
All right.
He's very, very excited. He said, well, I really want to go to the Boston Freedom Rally. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll buy you a ticket. Dude, serious? I'm like, yeah, serious. We just got a couple sponsors. That's a great idea. He can take the camera, go to the Boston Freedom Rally, represent 420 Radio, pass out some stickers, all that kind of crap. Have yourself a good time. And who knows, maybe Dave Tree will be there from the band Tree. Get to see him this time. So really excited that Herb Thrasher gets to be going out there. And this is something we're doing here on 420 Radio, trying to expand our reach. And as we get more sponsorship and are able to build the business here, we want to have correspondence. I don't want to have to fly out to every hemp fest. It's tiring, right? Hell, you live in Michigan. You go to the Ann Arbor Hash Bash, film it for us, and we'll figure out how to work it all out. So that's the goal. That's where we're headed. And it's nice to see the first example of that starting to take head.
Couldn't be a better person to send up there either.
Oh, yeah.
Could not be a better person.
Oh, yeah. That's a big thank you, basically, for what he's doing. So really appreciate that. All right. Wanted to get back to these Oregon DAs, these retired Multnomah County prosecutors. I'm going to pull up the Oregonian page on this. And part of what they've got a problem with is that 8 ounces is too much weed. So if we have 8 ounces of weed. Nobody's going to buy weed in a store. Which I don't understand that. I don't understand that logic because I can homebrew beer. I can homebrew all the beer I want, and yet I don't.
You can't get near as good as the microbreweries make for you anyways.
Exactly.
And it's the same way with weed. I mean, I'm growing weed for medicine, but I'm not near as good as these people that get a pound or two off of a plant. I can tell you that one. I get a couple ounces off a plant.
Now, somebody in the comments is saying, people don't understand it'll be regulated. You'll have to register your pot plants and pay a fee to grow it in your home. No, you won't.
No.
That's not true. There's no registration and no fees or taxes for your personal household home grow of 4 plants in New Approach, Oregon. See, it's funny how these things, pop up real quick when people talk about this stuff. So here's a great point. Here's a great point from someone in the comments on this about McDonald, one of these DAs. He's worried because we don't have a stone driving limit, right?
Right.
New Approach, Oregon just keeps the current laws against stone driving.
Right.
It's like these people think that you invent stone driving if you legalize somehow, right? So this commenter says, this is great, named Pragmatic Dreamer, you got to love the logic of prohibitionists. McDonald slams the initiative for, quote, failing to set a standard for impaired driving. He pointed to Washington's law, which established impaired driving standards as a better model, end quote. So he ignores the reality that people are driving to Vancouver, Washington to obtain legal cannabis and thinks it's just a good idea that they drive longer distances before coming home to Oregon. He must want people driving longer distances impaired rather than buying it locally and not driving at all, or having a delivery service get it to you.
Yeah, I
delivery
love
service can't be done over state lines. If it's legal in Oregon, no need to drive for it, no fuss, less impaired drivers on the road, but they want to opt for the more dangerous option. Give it up for prohibitionists.
Right. I love walking around the corner to get some.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fantastic, but the closer.
Yeah, and that gets to the other stupid rules that they have. And to some extent, we're going to have to just bite our tongue and go, yeah, that's stupid, but we got to get it legal, right?
Right.
And one of the stupid things is where you can't have a pot establishment within 1,000 feet of a residence, or 1,000 feet of a school, or 1,000 feet of a church, or 1,000 feet of any place, anywhere where people, get the vapors. Oh dear, marijuana.
Right.
Why? Right? Like most of the pot shops that I've seen are the kind of places that you don't even know they're pot shops when you're looking at them. Right.
And I have seen schools with a strip joint across the street from them.
Yeah.
That sells alcohol.
Yeah.
But that's across the street from them.
Right. And the marijuana outlet, I'm thinking like Pure Green down on Sandy. There's a few others down on Sandy. Frosted windows. You can't even see inside the place. Right. And fairly well-maintained places as well. What terrible thing is going to happen if a pot shop is within 1,000 feet of a school? The kids in the school can't get in the pot shop. They did a sting down in Colorado. They tried to send underage narcs in to get them to buy pot, and nobody would sell to them. None. Zero. They did the same kind of sting for alcohol in Colorado. They got 28 different bars and restaurants that would sell to underage kids. Okay?
Probably with the same kids.
So what is the problem? What is the problem with the pot shop being open near the school? I'll tell you what it is. Kids might think pot is just some normal thing adults do.
Right.
Kids might not think that it's the one-way ticket to Heroinville. Kids might think that, gee, when I grow up and I want to relax and chill, I have a choice of either beer or pot, or maybe even using both. That's what freaks them out so bad.
They won't think it's forbidden fruit.
It's
which
such...
they will run right out and try because they're hiding it from us.
And it's such a hypocrisy. And when we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about emotion over science and how that was used against us when we talked about medical marijuana. Well, their latest actions with legalization and CBD-Only show you they're just as emotional as we are, even more so, because we've got science, facts, reason, logic on our side, as well as evolution in nature. But right now, we've got Tie Stick Vapor Pens, and it's 4:20, so we've got to take a break and up our nanograms. See you in a minute.
.420 Radio, your ticket to Seattle Hemp Fest. The International Cannabis Business Conference takes place September 13th and 14th at the Portland Ballroom in the Oregon Convention Center in Portland, Oregon. Featured speakers include Oregon Senator Floyd Przansky, U.S. Congressman Earl Blumenauer, Daily Dish blogger Andrew Sullivan, author Doug Fine, and Harborside CEO Steve D'Angelo. To learn more, visit our website at International CB.
The pistachio. Green, natural, and available without prescription in all 50 states. He's fine.
Congressman Doc Hastings stood up for Washington's medical marijuana program and patients like Larry Hartley. Larry and his family are being prosecuted by the federal government, even though they were following Washington's 16-year-old medical marijuana law. On May 30th, Congressman Hastings voted for an amendment that would protect Washington's medical marijuana program and its patients from federal interference. Will the next representative from District 4 respect Washington voters? No, before you vote.
At Herbie's Cannabis Seeds, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best quality seeds from the world's most respected cannabis seed producers, all at the lowest online prices. You can find Herbie's Seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. All cannabis seeds are sold as souvenirs and as a means of preserving cannabis genetics. Herbie's Seeds in no way intends to condone, promote, or incite the use of illegal or controlled substances. We strongly urge all prospective customers to check their national laws prior to placing an order. Herbie's Seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. Proud sponsors of the Russ Belville Show and 420 Radio. Are you a hypocrite? If you live a closeted cannabis lifestyle, you are. Read about 7 people living a closeted cannabis lifestyle who are on the verge of coming out in The Hypocrites by Mara K. Eaton. Available at areyouahypocrite.net. You can purchase the book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, also available on iTunes. Check out Mara K. Eaton on Facebook as well. Learn more at areyouahypocrite.net.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Electric Tuesday, featuring the latest in electronic dance music and other cutting-edge genres. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tune.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Just about 24 after the hour, and Electric Bob is going to be unable to call in today because he's in Arizona and is probably melted by now. But we've got a group coming up with a punny name called No Saj Thing. Gotta like that name. And the track we have for today is called Eclipse Blue. I don't know anything about it, but let's see if we've got something written up in the 420 Radio website from Electric Bob. And you can always get these songs on demand as well if you're a VIP member of 420 Radio. VIP members get access to secret hidden stash that other regular public don't get, and that includes our daily Toker tunes. You'll be able to find every tune that gets posted and be able to click an audio player to listen to that tune. We don't have anything new for No Such Thing, so let's just go right to the music. No Such Thing with Eclipse Blue.
Silent cry.
420 Radio, your ticket to the High Times Cannabis Cups. The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. If you're detained or arrested, treat law enforcement with respect and stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at omarfigueroa.com. The Marijuana Business Association, or MJBA, are proud sponsors of the Russ Belville Show. It is the mission of the MJBA to establish integrity and legitimacy, create common market standards, provide market intelligence, and develop best ethical business practices for participants in the emerging legal marijuana industry, including commercial hemp, medical marijuana, and recreational marijuana for adults. Learn more about the Marijuana Business Association and visit mjba.net to join today. That's mjba.net. Connect with 420radio.org through social media, on Twitter at 420radio.org, and our Facebook page at 420radio.org. Follow us and like us today. You'll be glad you did.
That's right. Never trust a Klingon, and be careful about trusting the New York Times. I got to issue a public apology right now to the owners and operators of Main Street Marijuana in Vancouver, Washington, one of the two open pot stores in Vancouver. I've been going off on Main Street Marijuana and telling everyone to shop at New Amsterdam because I read this story in the New York Times about a guy, John Larson, who's going to own the Main Street Marijuana. And he said a line that was basically that he voted against 502, and that he said, quote, well, if they're dumb enough to vote it in, I've got the supply or I've got the product or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, screw this guy. If he thinks that people that vote for legalization are dumb, we don't want to shop at his place. Turns out the Times was wrong. John Larson has nothing to do with Main Street Marijuana.
Oh.
He has a license. He owns a different shop that's on Main Street. That's not open yet. But it's not Main Street Marijuana. The guy that's Main Street Marijuana, and let me apologize directly, is, let me find his name here. He was in my Facebook here. I was just going over this in Facebook. There we go. Ramzi Hamide? My apologies for the screwing up the pronunciation, but Ramzi, hey, I'm sorry, man. I believed the New York Times, and I ran with it. So apparently has nothing to do with Main Street Marijuana. You want to shop there at Main Street Marijuana? Be my guest. Go right ahead and do so. This John Larson guy, though, we'll be following up on see what shop he opens up, and then we'll encourage you not to shop there. I just want to make sure we got that out of the way, because one of the things we strive for, unlike the prohibitionists, is being fair and accurate. So we make a mistake, we like to own up to it. We're hanging out here with Left Wing Larry in Rolla J Studios, where it's nice and toasty. It's a beautiful July day. I hope you're having a good day as well. And I wanted to open up a topic on emotion over science. You remember when way back in the days, in the 20th century, boy, those were the days back, okay. So like 20 years ago, when we were starting medical marijuana, you remember those days. And
well, you're not going all the way back to your grandma's Woodstock weed.
No, we're going back before the internet.
Okay.
Not quite back to Woodstock weed. No, so back before the internet, back when Friends was on the air, back when Seinfeld was premiering. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back in the 90s, when we were promoting medical marijuana and trying to get it passed, one of the things that we would hear from prohibitionists all the time was, you're letting emotion dictate science. We don't have any real science on these medical things. You just bring these cancer patients and these AIDS patients out, and you play on people's heartstrings. You make them feel all emotional for these sick people, and we don't have any evidence. We don't have any scientific proof We don't have enough trials. They haven't been evaluated by the FDA. It's just anecdotal. You remember all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I heard that all the time.
I've heard it recently.
Right? You still hear it sometimes, right?
I heard it just before I moved up here from Florida.
There
from
you
them
go.
down there.
Well, folks, I'm here to tell you it's bullshit. Even though, you know it's bullshit, but let me tell you why it's bullshit. And I was inspired by a Pinterest board thing that I saw about the refugee kids crisis that's going on, the Central American kids, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a split graphic. On the top was a sperm hitting an egg, and on the bottom was all these refugee kids.
I got that today on Facebook.
Yeah, and the top of it said, if you think the top one is if you're worried about the top one's kids, but you're not worried about the bottom one as kids, you got to stop pretending that religion is the basis of your of your disagreement.
Right.
Just call it what it is, bigotry, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's a powerful statement, right? And that just kind of snapped in my mind and made me think, you know what? That applies to the marijuana issue as well, because they keep saying, we want the science. There has to be double-blind studies. We have to have the science. We have enough science. There's not studies that show it's just anecdotal. You're all being emotional, right? And yet, little Charlotte Figi gets on that Sanjay Gupta thing.
Mm-hmm.
They see a little kid in their state house having intractable epileptic seizures, and they can't wait to legalize CBD.
Right.
They rush right into legalizing CBD oil.
Without any FDA approval or anything. They don't need anything. Just make it legal for the little kid.
Yeah, there are no FDA trials on that CBD oil for epileptic kids. It's all anecdotal. We're just playing on emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why does that argument not play with the epileptic kid, but it plays with medical marijuana? Because it gets you high. Because that's what their opposition has always been about. Getting high. And that's why the fight for legalization is the true fight. Medical marijuana is a stopgap measure. Medical marijuana is a temporary holding pattern. Legalization's the real fight, because that's why they oppose medical THC. That's why I oppose smoking of it or access to the whole plant, just as we've seen in Minnesota, just as we've seen in New York State. They oppose that because it's the ability for us to get high. But you know what? It's more precise than that, because really they don't have a problem with us getting high. Watch your pharmaceutical commercials any day. There's any number of mood-altering, anti-anxiety, antidepressant. My favorite, of course, is the Abilify, the pill that helps your pill.
Mm-hmm.
Is your antidepressant not helping you? Well, we've got this extra pill that helps your pill.
Antidepressant.
Right. May cause suicidal thoughts, but we got no problem with getting high. Look at the stimulant industry in this country. How many different energy drinks are there? How many different 5-hour shots are there? How many different Starbucks and espressos? I learned something today. I was at the Fairleys Pharmacy there down the road.
Mm-hmm.
They had something on the board called Shot in the Dark. And I said, aside from being an excellent Aussie song, what is Shot in the Dark? He says, it's a shot of espresso in a black coffee.
Oh,
all right.
Just a shot in the dark.
Yeah. I'm cool with it, right? Hey, take the drug you want to take as long as it's not going to hurt me. But, this American predilection for getting high is well known.
That's kind of like the Boilermaker.
There you go.
Exactly.
The shot
just
in
like
a beer,
a Boilermaker.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you drop the shot in the glass of beer and then drink it.
And I'm fine with it. Hey, like I said, your drug's your drug. My problem is this discrimination against the safest one. Mm-hmm. Right? That's where I've got the issue. So it's when they say that, we're being emotional, it's emotion over science, they're just as emotional. But their emotion is fear. Their emotion is the fear of loss of control, the fear of people opening their minds. It's no surprise that a lot of the best music is done by people who smoke weed. It's no surprise that people who smoke weed tend to be a little anti-authoritarian and not accept, and they question authority and they don't accept dogma. And there's a reason for that. And it's been hypothesized many times. I don't have science on this one either. But I'll tell you that people that smoke weed tend to be more open, just generally. Right? I'm not going to say we're all liberal or all conservative or all progressive or all whatever, because that's not true. I mean,
it goes way back, too. Way back.
Yeah. But
anybody that's ever been to Barcelona, Spain, Gowdy had to have been on something. I mean,
well, yeah, man. It opens you up. It opens up to your creativity. It silences you. I heard one artist refer to it as it silences the inner critic. When I was playing music, and I never did become a guy in a band that did like original tunes. I was always just a cover band guy, right? And in talking to a guy who is an original band guy, he kind of I said, man, I could never do it. And he goes, why? And I go, because like any song I write, I listen to it and I think how shitty it sounds and how stupid it is. You know, how am I going to ever write something that sounds better than Eric Clapton or Led Zeppelin or whatever, right? Or Lennon and McCartney, right? And he made a really good point. He says, that's not your job. Your job is to create. It's someone else's job to critique.
That's exactly
whoa,
right. Exactly right.
By then it was too late for me to have taken my life into that direction, right? You know, hair was starting to go. but it made a profound influence, and it influenced me on how I treat this show and treat the blog and my writing and everything like that. You know, I know a lot of people who get writer's block and they get second guess what they're writing and what they're going to put out. And that taught me to know it's not for me. It's for me to put my thoughts on paper, and then I'll put them out there. And then if people don't like them, then I'll learn from it. And I do the same thing on this show. It's up to me to say what I feel and say what I think. And many times people have not liked it.
Like the guy from Vancouver.
So, you know, and so I try to learn from it. But the point here is when they try to bring up emotion over science, don't believe it. Their emotion is fear. And the way we overcome fear is love. Not to get too hippy-dippy, lovey-dovey, but it's true. And it's no accident that, you know, the Beatles started with, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And after marijuana evolved to, I am the walrus, goo goo gajoob. You don't write goo goo gajoob without some drugs, man. Who thinks that? Oh, I know.
Goo goo gajoob.
It's like, I am the walrus, la 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 la. What should we do there, Paul? Well, I don't know. What do you think, John? I don't know. Maybe goo goo gajoob. How did that even happen without some really good weed, man? I don't even know how that happens. Speaking of really good weed, we're going to take a break and have some of it.
The beginning of the end started in 1996 when California legalized weed for so-called medical purposes. 16 years later, Washington and Colorado legalized it outright and let people sell it from storefronts. And what has been the result?
The generation of millions of dollars in tax revenue for the states and creation of hundreds of new jobs in a growing multi-billion-dollar industry?
No. Well, yes, but at what cost?
Let's see. The cost of all that police time and money that's now spent going after real criminals and prisons with enough room to hold them all?
No. Well, yes, but look at what it's done to the people.
You mean that fewer of them are dying of alcohol, tobacco, and prescription-related causes since they've switched to cannabis, and many more are receiving medical benefit from a cheap, non-toxic healing herb?
No. Well, yes to all of that, but I can smell pot from my backyard, and I can't tell my kids not to do it because it's illegal.
420 Radio, turning red states and blue states green.
Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Very effective. Check out lushledlighting.com right now.
Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers thinks it's okay for medical marijuana patients like Larry Harvey to go to prison and lose their constitutional rights, even though Washington has had a medical marijuana law protecting patients like Larry since 1998. On May 30th, Congresswoman McMorris Rogers voted against an amendment that would protect Washington patients.
I voted to send Kathy McMorris Rogers to Congress, and she voted to send me to prison.
Is the Congresswoman out of touch with Washington?
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email firedup.
What can I help you with, bro?
Oh, hello. I'm looking for some purple kush and hash brownies.
Excuse me?
You know, the plant that grows out of the ground.
We only stock the liquid alternative. You know, the kind that leads to violence, social problems, the occasional gruesome death.
It's 2014, man. And you're telling me I have no other choice but to consume these dangerous products?
Dangerous as they may be, they are legal. I tell you what, you looked like a peach cider man when you came in first, but there are some beers over there. They're closer.
Why don't we try one of these old cideroonies, eh?
Put it down. Put it down, put it down, put it... Oh. Okay, get out. You gotta get out. Come on.
Sick bastard.
Ooh.
You support these liquor companies
Out.
without any care for your fellow man.
All right, get the fuck out. You gotta go.
What's this? Marijuana seeds? And so many different strains. I think I'm gonna take one of everything.
Crop King Seeds. World-class cannabis seeds. Available online and in stores.
Woo, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will, but today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs